Okay, this is still dilations, but now it is like you're having, instead of giving the scale factor, you're working backwards to find out what the scale factor is. This is a great worksheet because it's going to tell you exactly how to do that. So it says describing a dilation. When being asked to describe a dilation that has taken place, you are usually being asked to identify a scale factor. Was the shape reduced or enlarged, and by how much? So therefore, you tell whether it's reduced or enlarged by if the scale factor is bigger than 1, it's an enlargement. If it is a proper fraction, which means the numerator is smaller than the denominator, it is reduced. Okay, so if you're given two shapes and you need to find the scale factor, you must know which one was the original and which one's the new image. Don't forget, the new image is the prime marks or the tick marks, and then the original is just the regular letters. Okay, then you need to know the length of the corresponding sides and set them up in a ratio-like fashion. So the formula to find a scale factor is your image divided by the original, or new divided by old, or prime marks divided by regular letters. Okay, and so on this figure, it has to be corresponding sides. That means they have to be in the exact same places. So on here, they make it easy for you because they give you the 10 and 20 are in the exact same place. So you can see that the 10 is the original because they're regular letters, and that the 20 is the new because they have your little tick marks. Okay, so you're going to take that 20 and you're going to divide it by 10, and you're going to see that you have to multiply this 10 by 2 to get your 20, and so the scale factor is 2, and it's an enlargement. You can clearly see that this went from smaller to larger. That's all you're doing. Now, for this video's sake, I've already plotted the coordinates. Now, that was just a regular figure, right? That was corresponding sides. When you're trying to find a scale factor of two figures that have already been plotted, all you have to do is pick a letter and work with that. I try to pick the easier one, but so if I pick B, then I need to work with B prime. If I pick A, I need to work with A prime. So the letters have to correspond in that way. So this one, I picked C and C prime. So my coordinates for C are 6, my x is 6 and my y is 4. C prime, my x is 9 and my y is 6. I only want to work with either x or y. Why? Because once I find a scale factor, then it's going to work for everything in that figure because I'm taking the same number and multiplying every vertex by my scale factor. So all I have to do, so I'm going to choose to work with x's here. So 9 and 6, my C and C prime. So all I have to do to find the scale factor is take my 9 and divide it by my 6. And once I do that, I'm going to end up with 1.5 or 1.5. Now to do a check, all you have to do is to see if that works. So you're going to take that 4 and you're going to times it by your 1.5. That's a good check, just to see. So if I do my 4, because remember, scale factor work for everything. Times it by my 1.5, I should get 6. Yes, so that works. So therefore, that's all you're doing. Prime divided by your original. So on this one, I chose to work with the B and B prime. I can choose to work with the y, so it's going to give me the same thing. Don't forget your scale factor. You're going to do your prime divided by your original. So on this one, or I can choose to work with my x's. So my scale factor, just because, so you see it works no matter what variable you use. I'm going to take my new image, which is 4, my prime, and I'm going to divide it by my original. I did the y's. So my scale factor here is 2. So you can clearly see that it went from, smaller to larger. And so if I take that 2 and I multiply it by my beginning figure, I'm going to get a 2. That's just a little check. Okay. Now on this next one, I chose to work with the e's. You can choose to work with any letter, just as long as you're consistent. Whatever letter you choose, it has to be the same letter for the primes and the original. So here, clearly I cannot work with x's because 0 divided by 0 is not going to give me a scale factor. Anything multiplied by 0 is 0. So I'm forced into using my y coordinates here. So I'm going to do what? Do my prime and divide it by my original. So therefore, to find my scale factor. So scale factor, so that's e prime. So I'm going to do 2, and I'm going to divide it by 5. And so then, you can make this a decimal point if you wanted to. That's going to give me 0.4. So my scale factor is 0.4. Of course, it's going to be a reduction. All right, there you go. That's all you're doing. Oh, again, you just can do the worksheets behind.